Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we are going to build a sentence right from the ground up. And to do that, you have to know your most important building block, the noun. Seriously, it's the foundation for pretty much everything you say and write in English. Once you get a handle on nouns, you'll find the rest of the language is so much easier to put together. So, here's our blueprint for today. We're going to start with the absolute basics. Then we'll check out the different types of building blocks we can use. After that, we'll figure out where to put them and how to build even stronger phrases. And of course, we'll wrap it all up with a little quiz and some super important tips for your exams. Okay, let's dive right in with the foundation. So before I just give you the answer, think about this for a second. If you imagine a sentence is like a house you're building, what's that one single brick that's the most important? You know, the one thing you absolutely have to even get started. Yup, it's the noun. And this brings us to a really helpful way to think about this. A sentence is a house. The verbs, well, they're the actions happening inside, and the adjectives are like the paint and decorations. But the nouns, they are the actual bricks. You literally can't build a single thing without them. They give the whole structure its substance. Now, you know that not all bricks are created equal, right? If you want to build a solid house, you need to know what kind of bricks you're working with. So let's sort through our pile of nouns. First up, we've got common nouns and proper nouns. A common noun is just a general word for something, like city or student. It could be any city, anywhere. A proper noun, on the other hand, is a specific name, like Jakarta or Mary. And here's the dead giveaway. Proper nouns are always capitalized. Super easy to spot. Next, let's look at concrete versus abstract nouns. This one's all about your five senses. A concrete noun is a physical thing. You can see a table, you can hold a phone. But an abstract noun, that's an idea or a feeling. Things like happiness or freedom. You can feel them, you can experience them, but you can't physically pick them up. All right, this next one is one of the most important and sometimes trickiest parts of English grammar. We're talking countable versus uncountable nouns. Countable nouns are just what they sound like. You can count them. 1 book, 2 books. Simple. But uncountable nouns are things we see as a whole concept, like water, information, or advice. You'd never say, I have 3 advices, right? It just sounds wrong. And listen, I really need to hammer this point home. If you are prepping for a big exam like the TOEFL or IELTS, understanding the difference between countable and uncountable nouns isn't just a good idea, it is absolutely essential. This is where so many people make mistakes and lose easy points. Okay, so we've got our bricks all sorted out by type. Now we need to figure out where to put them so we can actually build something that stands up. Let's go back to our house analogy. It's super helpful here. In any sentence, the noun that's the subject is the builder. It's the person or thing doing the action. And the noun that's the object, that's the result. It's what receives the action. And this little chart here shows you exactly how that builder and result relationship works. Look at the first row. She is the builder, right? The action is reads. And what's the result of her reading? A book. It's the same simple pattern again and again. They are the builders, learn is the action, and English is the result. This subject-verb-object pattern is the absolute backbone of English. You know, a single brick is useful, but it's when you start stacking them together that you create something really cool. So let's move beyond single nouns and start building some strong, descriptive noun phrases. And it's actually as easy as 1, 2, 3. First, you start with your main brick, your core noun, house. Step 2, you add an article, like a, to introduce it, a house. And finally, you throw in an adjective to describe it, a big house. See? Just like that, you've made your sentence way more detailed and interesting. And that brings up a really common question I get. When do I use a versus the? Well, it all boils down to whether you're being general or specific. You use a or an when you're talking about any old one of something. If I say, I saw a dog, it just means I saw some random dog on the street. But if I say, I saw the dog, I'm talking about a specific dog that you and I both already know about. It's a tiny word that makes a huge difference in meaning. All right, you've seen the plans, you've learned about the materials. I think it's time for a little quality check. Let's test out your skills and go over some really important tips that are going to help you out on your exams. Okay, first question, nice and easy to get us warmed up. Which of these is a proper noun? Is it A, book, or B, Indonesia? Okay, first question. Nice and easy to get us warmed up. Which of these is a proper noun? Is it A, book, or B, Indonesia? I'll give you a second.
Got it? It's B, Indonesia, because it's a specific country and you see that big capital I.
Okay, now for one that looks like it came straight out of an exam. Take a look at this sentence. He needs some informations for his project. There's a really common mistake in there. Do you see it? Let's zoom in on the problem area. It's that word, informations. Why is that wrong? What did we learn a little while ago about that specific type of noun? And here is the correct version. It should just be information. Remember, information is one of those uncountable nouns. Just like you wouldn't say waters or advices, you don't add an S to information. It's talking about the idea as a whole. Fantastic job if you spotted that one. So let's finish up with a quick checklist of some must-know tips. Number 1, always capitalize your proper nouns. Number 2, and this is a big one, uncountable nouns like advice or information do not have a plural S. And finally, number 3, keep an eye out for those weird irregular plurals like child becomes children or man becomes men. Seriously, if you only take one single thing away from our talk today, let it be this. The number one rule for succeeding in your English exams is to master the basics of nouns. It is the foundation that everything else is built on. Get this right and you're well on your way. So we've laid the foundation, we've sorted the bricks. You now have the skills and the materials to build clear, strong, and correct sentences. The only question left is, what are you going to build? What story are you going to tell? Thanks for tuning in today.